In this video, we present QuickBoards, a mobile application that helps math and science teachers plan whiteboard-based lectures and presentations. Rather than using tools like PowerPoint, many math and science teachers use whiteboards for the lectures for 3 reasons. Teachers can easily adjust to students' needs while still sticking to an overall plan. Drawing on a whiteboard is much easier than plotting graphs and typesetting equations on a computer, and taking the time to write out equations prevents them from rushing through dense slides. While teachers do prepare the content of their lectures beforehand, few plan how the content will be organized on the board. This leads to student confusion. We've covered why our user group prefers not to use PowerPoint, and through a competitive analysis, we also discovered that there are no existing mobile applications that address this problem. In the future, adoption of interactive whiteboards might alleviate many of our users' problems, but in the meantime, there is a need for an application like QuickBoards. Here's Dan, an applied math grad student, preparing for his next lecture on numerical integration. He has some downtime after lunch, so he uses QuickBoards to plan his lecture. Let's take a look. First, he creates a new lecture and gives it a name. Here, he describes how the whiteboards are laid out in his classroom. This will come in handy later. He chooses to set a time limit to stay on track. A little later, he's almost finished. Let's see what planning a board is like. This board will have 2 elements, a definition and a graph. To remember how the graph looks, Dan takes a picture of the graph in his notes and saves it for later. He'll use the whiteboard on the right and plan to spend 5 minutes on it. Now he's ready for class. The students are getting ready for a lecture to start. This time, Dan's ready. He starts with announcements just as he planned. So what's next? He continues the lecture, drawing a diagram next. Lecture's almost over. What's left to discuss? Oh right, there's still the Riemann sum. Looks like he's almost done explaining it. But the students look a little confused. He has them work on another problem while making a note to himself. He reminds himself to spend more time on this topic later. On the way home, Dan checks his notes for the day. Oh yeah, there was that issue with the Riemann sum. You know, maybe 5 minutes is too long for announcements. That time would be better spent on the graph. Dan's done with the note and deletes it. Users wanted to see more boards when rearranging and deleting them, and it was hard as a quasi-modal interaction. We addressed these problems by adapting a familiar hold and drag interaction similar to the iPhone home screen. Originally, we left it to users to correspond numbering to physical boards. Now users can specify the layout of the boards in the classroom and see what board to draw on at a glance. The revision flagging feature was met with confusion because of an ambiguous icon, and users would not remember why a board section was flagged, so the feature evolved into voice memos. In terms of improvements, users often lecture in the same classroom. We could save and load classroom board configurations to cut down on redundant steps. It would also be interesting to explore the possibility of sharing lectures, either with other professors or students.